Hi everyone, I'm Phil Hoskins from Evolution Energy Minerals, here to talk about the development-ready Chilalo Graphite Project in Tanzania. It's a coarse flake project. That's what sets our project apart with world-leading flake size, and that's what drives very high margins at current prices. We've also got a very low capex development option relative to our peers. I've spent almost 250 days in China over the last 8.5 years developing this project. And as a result, we've got excellent relationships with off-takers. We've signed a binding off-take agreement with the global leader for expandable graphite and graphite foil, YXGC, and I'll talk about them a little bit later. So our coarse flake graphite is highly suitable for those value-added applications, but this is still a battery story. So our fines has tested pretty much as good as it can get into coated spherical graphite for lithium-ion batteries, and we've intentionally left that uncontracted, because our intention is to pursue a vertically integrated strategy to produce coated spherical graphite on US soil. And I'll talk about that strategy today. We've got very good near-term catalysts. We're soon to sign our framework agreement with the Tanzanian Government that delivers the fiscal stability for financing. Our updated DFS and front-end engineering design is to be announced shortly, and we've also got some drill results to come out soon that will demonstrate the substantial scale potential of the project. 60 mil market cap, 10 million cash in the bank, largest shareholder, the Arch Sustainable Resources Fund, a mining-focused ESG fund out of the UK, who have been very supportive to date and will continue to follow their money through to FID. And they've also really helped us with the ESG components of the project's development. Board and management, there's a lot of graphite expertise on this board and management team. The one I'll call out, Michael Bourguignon in the middle there at the top, built Syrah's graphite project in Mozambique. So we're the only developing graphite company that has that real execution experience in the graphite space, and a lot of learnings taken out of that process. Michael's also built a number of other projects on the African continent. So we really are building out a team to execute here, and that can't be underestimated, the risk of taking a development stage project through to operations. Why hasn't graphite done a lithium yet? This is a question we get asked all the time. Andy Miller from Benchmark Mineral Intelligence, I think, has hit the nail on the head. There was a substantial market for graphite well before batteries came along, traditional refractory uses and these sorts of things. If you look at cobalt and lithium, batteries became more than 50% of those markets back in 2016 and 2020 respectively. And in the 2 years that followed, there were massive price explosions. Graphite is just coming to 50%, batteries is just coming to 50% of the graphite market, and my expectation is the price will increase dramatically over the next couple of years as it becomes 70% of that market. Graphite is still a China story. More than every other battery metal, China dominate the production, so 73% of the mining, 100% of the further processing, the purification and spheronization to go through to battery-grade graphite is done in China. So it's really important to watch what China are doing, and through 2022, they've signalled their intentions to the world. So they've moved to a net importer, and it's the scale of those imports that's significant. They've gone from 50,000 to 150,000 tonnes of imports, tripling in their imports. They're basically saying to the world, we will take all your flake graphite rather than give it to you. We're going to add all the value to it, and that's going to, and then we want to sell that to the rest of the world. So that's why the US Inflation Reduction Act exists, because everyone is needing to move the critical mineral supply away from China. This is another benchmark graphic here, talking about 97 new graphite mines needing to be required by 2035. These are huge numbers. Our expectation with the quality of our project, though, is that there will be one of the next cabs off the rank. What is our competitive advantage from our project's point of view? The geology of the graphite in Tanzania is world-class. I think it exceeds that of any other country. The ability to have world-class flake size targeting 95%, or if you wanted to grind a little bit harder, you can get to plus 99% just through flotation. And Tanzanian graphite is unique in that way. You've also got to go and test, is your graphite suitable for the value-added applications? Lithium-ion batteries on the fines, expandable graphite, expanded foil, these sorts of things on the course, and we have done that. We've got a low technical risk, recognising that producing that high-quality product is so important. We've done the full variability test work at 2 separate labs, and that's one of the reasons Michael was more than happy to join us. He knew we weren't going to be walking into a Syrah sort of situation where they underperformed what they were expecting. The economics will be very strong with this updated DFS. It'll be a high margin project, as I said, but a low capex and financeable option. And execution risk, we've got the only guy in the world that's actually delivered one of these things before. So we are doing some drilling, or we did do some drilling towards the end of last year. It's not that we need sort of upside to the resource. We've already got 18-year mine life based on reserves, but what we wanted to do was to demonstrate to investors, to customers, that we can grow our production and have expansion capabilities as we move forward. And 6,000 metres of drilling, you can see in the middle there, the little white outline, that's the 18-year mine life on our mining licence. But there's 33 kilometres of conductors that we also know are graphite. So you can watch for the next 4 to 6 weeks as the results come out from that. But certainly the visuals are demonstrating very good graphite in these holes. A bit more on the off-taker. So Yichang Xincheng Graphite Co. or YXGC might not be a name that you know, but if you've got coarse flake graphite, you want to be selling to these guys. I have met everyone in those 30 plus trips to China up there, and these guys are the global leader for those value-added applications. Expandable graphite, graphite foil, they sell to Apple and Samsung, some of those products. It's a 30,000 tonne per annum offtake agreement and really underpins our coarse flake sales for 3 years. But as I mentioned before, I think the strategy to go downstream in the US with a vertically integrated supply chain that avoids China is something that the market it just makes a hell of a lot of sense. So you look at Syrah Resources currently not making any money on their mine, but they're a $1.5 billion market cap. So you ask yourself the question, well, why is that? Well, they are the only supply chain that can avoid going through China. They've got validation from the US government in terms of free grant funding and debt funding, and they've got validation from the customers with Tesla. So it's a strategy that makes sense. It's one that we've been pursuing for the last 12 months using our graphite feedstock. So the fines from our mine would be sold into a downstream entity in the US. We've got a commercially proven technology partner who was the first partner in the world or in North America to produce coated spherical graphite for batteries. That we'll be announcing who that is later this quarter and how we're going to work with them moving forward. And really importantly, it's using environmentally friendly thermal purification technology, so different to the hydrofluoric acid and toxic chemicals that China use and Syrah are also proposing to use. So the test work has performed as good as it gets. There's a theoretical maximum for how graphite can perform in an anode of 372 milliampere hours per gram, which is essentially the amount of power that the graphite is delivering into the battery. We've got 368, which is as good as it gets. The irreversible capacity loss shows that charge after charge, cycle after cycle, we're not losing any of that power. So this means that it's a premium product suitable for sale into high-powered electric vehicles and energy storage batteries. But the environmentally friendly side, we are seeking to develop our Tanzanian project in a net zero carbon way to be able to put that into thermally purified and hopefully renewably powered downstream would be the most sustainable supply chain for anode materials on the planet. So that's one thing that we're really looking to do. And I mentioned that Arch, our major shareholder, very sustainability focused, and that's a real focus for our company. Financing. So we are running through a process with Auramet, who are doing a debt advisory process for us, and that'll take a number of months once we've delivered the framework agreement and the DFS. And we've had very strong interest from banks already. So that'll run its process. But I think it's important to note that financing in graphite and other non-traditional commodities, there is no blueprint, and it's worthwhile noting that you look at the top 10 lithium companies on the ASX today, they're currently valued just over $36 billion. 3 years ago, they were valued at $3 billion. And so I think graphite's going to be going through a similar upswing to lithium. And so we aren't just pursuing a financing at all costs. We want to make sure it's not dilutive for our shareholders and we can deliver the best outcome. Certainly there's a lot of strategic money out there, as I mentioned, US government funding under the Inflation Reduction Act, and also vendor financing from customers as well. So we want to achieve that optimal solution that's the best result for our shareholders. So just to sum up, we've got very strong near-term catalysts, the framework agreement, the DFS that will deliver excellent economic outcomes, and the drill results. We do have industry-leading margins at current prices. We don't need the graphite price to double to be able to make money, and that's driven by the coarse flake size. The supply-demand dynamic is very strong for graphite, and my expectation is the prices will increase. It's just a matter of time. The demonstrated performance into the value-added applications, and then the strategy to vertically integrate into US and get some of that non-dilutive government funding, as well as attack that market that are so desperate to get ex-China supply chain. So thanks everyone for your time. Please come past the booth if you'd like to learn more.